Tomorrow, a very important external event will occur, guys, and it's about the inflation or the CPI report that's coming out tomorrow morning. You guys ready? We're going to be investigating and talking about what's upcoming, guys, because it will dictate where it will give the markets the signal to either pump or dump. So let us talk about it. But first things first, guys, from CNBC. Insider selling in the first quarter reached its highest level in over 3 years. Wait, that's not good at all, right? With total insider sales nearing $25 billion, guys, according to Smart Insider. So there you guys go. Since when? In over 3 years, guys. Wasn't that the high of the stock market and crypto market back then? Let's check this out, guys. So insiders are selling at the highest pace since the stock market high in 2021. Remember, the S&P dropped 27% in the bear market of 2022. So this may signal some type of recession or black swan, guys, right? Black swans are unpredictable, but at the same time they can be because of different metrics we have to look at. Insiders have information on the economy regular investors only wish they had. Think about Mark Zuckerberg. He has info like advertising spend, chatter about the economy on Facebook and Instagram, keyword search and trending, users buying things through Facebook or lack of buying. Take Jeff Bezos. He has info on consumer spending from almost all of the United States, including buying trends. This makes insider buying or selling extremely important to follow. Investors should be alarmed by this massive sell-side action from insiders. And basically, this chart shows that you guys can see all the sells that are occurring, guys, right? That are taking place throughout 2024. And I don't know, guys, right? That's not a good thing at all, because they're obviously selling for a specific reason. Could be for tax purposes, living expenses, guys, things like that. But what that amount though, $25 billion worth of sales, I don't know about that one, guys. So let us talk about March CPI inflation expectations tomorrow, right? It'll give a hint, are we going to pump higher or not? Now on Bitcoin, guys, we do see a hidden bearish divergence on the daily, which isn't too good, guys, which isn't a good sign, right? A positive sign. So if we do see sell pressure incoming, I'm going to be buying and buying and buying more, because I still believe we go higher, guys, right? So that's just my belief, guys, until a black swan appears. Now tomorrow, as you can see from all these different banks, they're expecting 3.3, 3.4, right? About there, guys, for headline CPI, and then for core CPI, about 3.7%. Now, if the CPI comes in at 3.4%, guys, as most banks expect, it will mark the third straight monthly increase in inflation. And tomorrow's inflation data is huge, exactly, guys, so we must pay attention, right? It's going to come out at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, if I'm not mistaken, guys. Another hot inflation report will make 3 rate cuts in 2024 look like the bull case. And let us talk about it, guys. So tomorrow is the most important CPI report of your life, so read this thread. Now, tomorrow's CPI report is crucial as it influences the probability of a June rate cut, okay, which is the most important short-term narrative indicator for the market. So the market does believe that there's going to be some type of rate cut, guys, a 25 basis points rate cut June, right? In the month of June or May, guys, or around that time frame. And if that were to happen, it would give a lot of rocket fuel for the markets to pump, right? If the markets can sniff out a rate cut. But the issue with rate cuts are the markets collapse 1 to 2 months ahead, or about, give it 1 to 2 months, guys, right? A delay factor comes into play. The longer they hold rates, guys, the markets will keep pumping, right? It's so clear. So let us see. The focus should be on core CPI as it is the primary indicator that the Fed is currently concerned about. Markets expect a further decline from last month, so we would ideally like to see a print of less than 3.8% year over year, guys, okay? And if the core CPI print exceeds 3.8%, guys, so there's two different reports coming out, right? Headline CPI, and then we got core CPI, guys. Now, if we see it's come in as higher than expected, that's going to be terrible for the markets. Lower than expectations is going to be very bullish, guys, for the markets. And if it comes in as expected, it's just going to be neutral, right? We may see a small sell-off, but it's still going to be bullish, guys. That's just my opinion. Now, if the core CPI print exceeds 3.8%, it could spark inflation fears and significantly reduce the likelihood of a June rate cut. Now, so listen to this, guys. If things come in more hot than expected, yes, we'll see a dump, right, for short term. But the markets will keep pumping, guys, right? It'll pick up and keep pumping, right? Because they know that a Fed rate cut will probably appear at some point in time, right? And they're just going to hold rates, guys, right? Which will be bullish for markets. Now, a good CPI report, less than 3.8% year over year for core CPI, guys, it'll be a solid rally, okay? If we see a neutral to bad CPI report tomorrow, a small sell-off. But if we see a terrible one, guys, it's going to be a strong sell-off. So pay attention, watch out for tomorrow. Let us see what happens. But know how you get back to 2% inflation, guys, with a 30% drop in the SPX. What does that mean? A black swan entered the view. This is why possibly Justin, $4 trillion asset manager State Street, says Federal Reserve will cut interest rates by 50 basis points by June and 150 basis points by the end of 2024. Oh, isn't that alarming, guys? Short term, it's not. It's actually very bullish because people will think rate cuts are good. But in reality, it's the opposite, guys. It means the economy, something broke within the economy, dump, a collapse, a recession. Isn't it weird how we talked about a black swan will probably enter the view till end of spring? So this is just my theory, guys, not financial advice. Please like today's video. But as we can see right here, I believed there were three scenarios from the beginning of time back in 2022, a long time ago, guys, right? During the previous bear market. Option number one was pump until the collapse, okay? Scenario number two would be collapse it now. But then the third scenario would be pump in the middle of the cycle. There will be a black swan, guys, but then we pump again and then to the collapse. Okay, that's scenario number three, and it seems like we're inching towards this scenario, guys, right? And that was just my belief, guys, that from last year I believed that the markets will pump, there will be a black swan in the middle, but then the Fed will come and save the markets, guys, save the day, and we're going to go higher and higher and higher until the markets collapse, whenever that occurs, right? But I still don't believe we're at the black swan event right now because we still haven't seen Bitcoin, I don't know, like at 90K or something, guys, right? So we still go higher in my opinion, but we must pay attention because there could be a black swan on the horizon. And if they cut rates, and literally a $4 trillion asset manager, guys, is suggesting that, oh, the Federal Reserve will cut rates by June, what does that mean? So they were predicting a deep recession then, right? Bullish for cryptos and stocks, yes, short term, until like June, until they cut rates, guys, right? So that's all we need, really, right? That's all, because the parabola doesn't take till years to complete, guys, right? Or the tail end of it. The tail end happens like this, guys, like that right there, right? So this portion can be weeks or a month or two max, right? It's not years. So that's very bullish, guys, indeed. I think such drastic cuts might signal economic concerns. Exactly, right? So after they cut rates, guys, that's when the S will hit the fan, like think of 2020, right? And then they're going to come and save the day probably, and then that's going to be very good, very well for the elections as well that is incoming. They must have seen CPI data already because no one else is predicting that. Weird, right? So let us pay attention, guys. On the other hand, State Street also maintains the economy is not as strong as it seems. The market is underplaying the likelihood of deeper cuts. Exactly. If a black swan appears, guys, no, they're not cutting 50 basis points. They're cutting as much as they can. Right? That's hilarious. There's a lot to suggest that this is still a very fragile recovery despite the fact it continues to look resilient on the surface. Again, because everything's flipped on its head, guys. Okay? On the other hand, Jamie Dimon says 8% rate cuts could lie ahead. I guess they want to collapse the market soon if that were to occur. But JP Morgan says stocks are so crowded they may crack at any time. Right? Well, you look at that, guys. I mean, they could be fear-mongering, guys, right? Before the blow-off top occurs. So I'm still in, though. I'm definitely still in. At the same time, it is worrying, guys, when we see charts like these, or like this. This bull run is fueled by the fewest number of stocks in history, and every time that has occurred in the past, look what happened then, right? Depression territory, .com bubble, 2008 housing collapse, and what happened in 2020? Exactly. The black swan occurred. All of these were black swans, guys, right? I don't know about these other ones. There were probably black swans as well. You guys can do your own research if you do wish to. But again, that is worrying and signals possibly a black swan. But first, I believe we go higher, guys, before we see a black swan. So I'm ready. And again, if we see cryptos and stocks rallying like never before, I'm out, and then entering back in after the black swan finishes. And last but not least, gold is surging. Go look at the charts for yourselves, guys. And maybe it's because big money that must be invested in something at all times that does not want to be correlated to stocks at this time. Ask yourself why, right? So I don't know, guys. Maybe something is brewing, but first we keep pumping. In my opinion, not financial advice. There will be signs, guys. There will 1,000% be signs before any type of black swan event. Now, financial advice. Let's prepare. But it's guys, Sophie, see ya.